Nikon Z5 just had a firmware update 1.40 that claims to improve face detection, eye detection, and in video mode it adds that feature to it. Currently I am using 1.20. There is a 1.21 I didn't know about, but I'm not going to bother. I did notice it kind of sort of picked up this lovely portrait, but it is bad print quality and it's dark and it's black and white. 1080p, 60 frames a second, 125th of a second shutter speed, f2 with the 50mm f1.8 and the Canon M6 Mark II with the Viltrox 33mm at f2.
Gonna update the firmware on the Z5. I have to find it at the Nikon USA website. Obviously, if you're in a different country, use your country's version firmware. There we go. And we picked the Z5. If you ever noticed, Nikon has Z space 5, not Z5. So here we got C version 1.40. Let's go over the actual differences here. It says added support for iOS version of NX Mobile Air. Use NX Mobile Air version 1.04 or later. Okay. Add support for the MC-N10 remote grip. I looked at that. It's pretty interesting. It's basically a piece of a camera with a USB connection that you connect to your camera. So it's pretty cool that they add that support to Z5. And also the MLL7 remote control, that's a Bluetooth remote. Surprised that wasn't supported earlier. Then here we've got the main feature I'm trying out is eye detection autofocus is now available during video recording. And also it looks like they did save focus position, recall focus position, added to the roles that can be assigned using the custom settings F2 custom controls in the custom settings menu as of February 14th, 2023. So we've got the 7200 f2.8 VRS, 100 to 400, 4.5 to 5.6 VRS, 400 f2.8 TC VRS, 400 f4.5. That's a pretty interesting lens. And the 800 f6.3 VRS. And it also says improved eye detection performance for auto area AF. And then another thing we can try to see if we notice is the refresh rate of the focus points displayed in live view during subject tracking and face eye detection autofocus. And it says the behavior of autofocus during memory recall has been improved to ensure that the focus position will not change in any focus mode even if the shutter release button is pressed halfway while focus recall is in progress.
And I can also try the 16mm f1.4 Sigma on the M6 Mark II and the 28mm f2.8 in Z5. Here's a wide angle test, 28mm f2.8, the Sigma 16mm f1.4, both of them at f2.8, ISO 200, I think, 125th of a second shutter speed. On Z5, I'm not going to do anything with photography because I don't have the setup for that. I'll let someone else try to tackle that and see if there is any big difference. Quite a while back I did a very extensive photo shoot with the Z5 and the M6 Mark II, and I found them to be very comparable with autofocus functionality, the performance of it. I have a certain setup with the Z5 that works really well in face autofocus, even with its current firmware, so maybe into the future I'll be able to try it in photography, but at the moment we're just doing video, see if there's any difference. One thing I really wish they would have added to the Z5 is the wide area focus feature with face detect. I think the Z5 is the perfect camera to have that feature, but at the very least they're trying to continue to improve the Z5. You've seen the results. I'll let you decide for yourself how it looks.
Now I've got the download. It says FZ5 v1.40W. Automatically extract it in this directory. We've got the bin file, which we need to copy. The Z5 firmware is 35 megabytes. It's not a lot. Here's my memory card. It has to be in the main directory, not in the DCIM. Let's copy that over. Then I will properly eject the memory card, go into firmware version, and then you see there's an update option. You can go into there, and it says 1.20 to 1.4 update. It says don't turn off your camera. Update completed, turn camera off. Firmware version, we've got 1.40 and LF version 1.